On this video, we will see how to find the greatest common factor between two or more numbers. To begin, we want to remember what is a factor. A factor is a number that you can multiply to get another number. Another definition is a factor of a whole number is another whole number that divides into it without a remainder. We will understand this better with an example. Number 3 is a factor of 12 because you can multiply 3 times another integer, which is number 4, to get number 12. Therefore, number 4 is also a factor of 12 because we can multiply 4 times 3 to get 12. Other factors of 12 are numbers 1, 2, 6, and 12 because we can multiply them times something else, another integer, to get number 12. Now, this example was explained in terms of the first definition, which was in terms of multiplication. Now, we can also explain this in terms of division. Number 3 is a factor of 12 because I can divide 12 over 3 and it gives me a whole number, which is 4. 4 is also a factor of 12 because 12 over 4 gives me 3, another integer. Now, let's see what is the greatest common factor. It is the highest number that divides exactly into two or more numbers. This is also called the greatest common divisor. For example, let's find the greatest common factor of numbers 18 and 24. We would have to make a list of all of the factors of each number. We are going to start with the factors of 18. They are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Because when I divide 18 over these numbers, it gives me integers. 18 over 1 is 18, 18 over 2 is 9, 18 over 3 is 6, 18 over 6 is 3, 18 over 9 is 2, and 18 over 18 gives me 1. Now we are going to list the factors of 24, and is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24, because all of these numbers divide 24 exactly into a whole number. If you see, the last factor of each number will be the same number because the number divided by itself is always going to be number 1. Now we have to check the list of both numbers, all of their factors, and first we see that both of them have numbers in common, but we're interested in the greatest common factor, so the largest number that they have in common. In this case, it's number 6. The greatest common factor of 18 and 24 is 6. Now, this process can be long when we have larger numbers or when we have to find the greatest common factor between more than two numbers. To do that, it's easier to use another method called by prime factorization. Now we are going to see an example by that method. We are going to solve the same problem that we did before, but now with the new method that is called prime factorization. If you don't remember what are prime numbers or what is prime factorization, you can check the video for the least common multiple, because it is explained at the beginning of that video. Right now, on the right side of the screen, I wrote the list of the first prime numbers, so we can use them as a guide to solve our examples. Okay, to find the greatest common factor of 18 and 24, we are going to do prime factorization. We write 18 and number 24 in a table. And we start by factoring using the smallest prime number, which is number 2. 18 over 2 gives us 9, and 24 over 2 is 12. Okay, but now, whenever I have a number that divides both of the numbers, I am going to write a check mark on the right side to mark it. Now let's try again factoring using 2. 9 over 2 it's not divisible, so I am going to write number 9 on the bottom. 12 over 2 is divisible. It gives us 6. Okay, so since this number 2 didn't divide both numbers, I don't check mark. Okay, I continue. 9 over 2, it's not divisible. I keep number 9. But 6 over 2 is 3. Okay, so I don't check mark because it didn't divide both numbers. Now, 2 doesn't divide either 9 or 3, so I continue with the next prime number, which is number 3. 9 over 3 is 3, and 3 over 3 is 1. Now, since this number 3 did divide both numbers, I check mark. Now, then again over 3, 3 over 3 is 1, so I am done factoring. Now, to find the greatest common factor between 18 and number 24, I am going to multiply the numbers that I checked marked, which is 2 times 3, and it gives me 6. So the greatest common factor of 18 and 24 is number 6. Now let's solve another example. We're going to find the greatest common factor between 70 and 56. We start by making the table 70 and 56. We always start with the smallest prime number, which is number 2. 70 over 2 is 35, and 56 over 2 is 28. I check mark because it divided both numbers. I continue with number 2. 35 is not divisible over 2, so I keep number 35. But 28 over 2 is 14. It didn't divide both numbers, so I don't check mark. I continue with the same number. 35 over 2 is not divisible, so I keep the number. But 14 over 2 is 7. Now, 35 and 7 are not divisible over 2, so I try with the next number, which is number 3. But I see that either 35 or 7 are divisible over 3. So I continue with the next prime number, which is number 5. And 35 is divisible over 5, so I'm going to use it. 35 over 5 is 7. But 7 is not divisible over 5, so I keep number 7. Now, 5 doesn't divide 7, but the next prime number is 7. And 7 over 7 is 1. 7 over 7 is 1. So I am done factoring. And this 7 divided both numbers, so I check mark. That means that to find the greatest common factor between 70 and 56, I have to multiply 2 times 7, the numbers that I checked, and it gives me 14. Great. So now I'm going to see a next example, but to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers. Now we have 60, 36, and 12. We start the same way by writing them in a table. 60, 36, and 12. And we are going to factor starting by using the smallest prime number, which is 2. 60 over 2 gives us 30. 36 over 2 gives us 18. And 12 over 2 is 6. Okay, since this number divided the 3 numbers, every number, we check mark. We try again with number 2. 30 over 2 is 15. 18 over 2 is 9. And 6 over 2 is 3. Again, this number divided every number, so we check mark. Now we see that 15, 9, and 3 are not divisible over 2, so we check now with the next prime number, which is number 3. 15 over 3 is 5. 9 over 3 is 3. And 3 over 3 is 1. Again, the number divided every number, so we check mark. Again, we try with 3. 5 is not divisible over 3, so we keep number 5. But 3 over 3 gives us 1. Now 5 is no longer divisible over 3, but the next prime number is number 5. And 5 over 5 is 1. Now I have to multiply 3 numbers to get the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor between 60 36 and 12 is found by multiplying 2 times 2 times 3, which 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 gives us 12. So the greatest common factor is number 12. Okay, so I hope this made clear how to find the greatest common factor between two or more numbers. Thank you for watching this video.